One day, George the no good wanker roller was waiting for Percy to take him to a new workplace. George was being rude to Rheneas and Scarlow. "You're just worn out willies on rails. You need trucks for your roads," replied Scarlowy, "and we're helping you." "I need to fuck little engines in the scrapyard," retorted George. Then Percy arrived to take George away. He was still rebelling. "Railways are shit. Turn them into roads." The little engines were pleased to see him go. "Rollers are rubbish, so fuck you," they called. George grumbled all the way to the Old Town Road. He was going to turn it into a railway. When they arrived, George was rude again. "Bumpy ride on rubbish. I'm glad it's over." "So am I, you nonce." "Ha!" huffed George. George was now enjoying himself. "Shit's on rails," he chortled. "It's easy, I just and they all fuck off." "What do you think of this, Thomas?" Thomas took no notice. George felt insulted. "You're a useless imitation steamroller," he shouted. But Thomas didn't give a fuck. "I'll show him who's boss." At last the workmen reached the level crossing. "What shall we do here?" "Tear it up, tarmac it," said George. So they did, but not properly, and George knew it too. Later, Thomas was travelling home on the same line. He was pulling trucks filled with... Oh no! The signalman had forgotten to warn his driver about the crossing. "That's nice, we don't need to stop," said Thomas happily. "Oh shit," called his driver. But it was too late. Stepney was on the loose. "This engine's scrapping!" George had been taken to some yards to work. As he was chuffering about, Duck arrived with a train of empty trucks. George was blocking his way, and a truck was stuck on the main line. "Let me through, you nonce roller." "I'm too busy." "Fuck off, wanker." "There's no time to wait. I must clear my ass from the main line to let Gordon through." "Pah," said George. "Then he'll have to suck my willy." Duck's driver went to complain to the station master, but the signalman had already switched the points and set the signal to allow Gordon to speed through. "I'm great, just watch me fly by." He whistled long and loud as he approached the station. Suddenly he saw a truck on the line ahead. "Oh shit!" But the truck wouldn't move. Until Gordon forced it. By accident. Gordon was worried that the Fat Controller would be cross. He was, but not with Gordon. "Whoever caused this disturbance will have my part to answer to." And he did, a few days later. "Look who's here," said Thomas. George had been found out by the Fat Controller and spanked. He looked stupid. "Now you can kiss my ass," said Percy.
"I'll remember cigarette roll and bring home, but I've got to wait, so I'll always tell that to do."
And then you'll be just as rubbish as ever. Eh, George? I hope, don't you?